growing calls from Democrats to drop out of the race. And as we get ready for November, folks, Georgia voters could actually see a crowded presidential ballot.
That's right. So we do know that President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump will be on this ballot. But right now, at least 5 other candidates are also making headway to get on the state's ballot. Doug Richards with our political team here live in Midtown for us tonight. So, Doug, this could make things interesting come election night.
If things weren't already interesting enough, third-party candidates are always a long shot. But because of some disgruntlement, perhaps, toward the 2 major party candidates, they may get more attention this year. One such candidate worked a crowd here in Midtown a couple of weeks ago. This was the noisy protest staged a few blocks away from the Atlanta debate, which pitted Democrat Joe Biden against Republican Donald Trump. Among the crowd was a fringe presidential candidate, spotted by the Atlanta Civic Circle news site. He wore a shirt saying, "Literally anybody else." He's been gathering ballot access signatures, and he told our Dallas sister station he had made literally anybody else his legal name.
You know, it's not necessarily about me as a person, but it's about literally anybody else as an idea.
In an election where polls show the 2 elderly major party candidates are underwhelming many voters, third-party alternatives are drawing at least some consideration.
Chase Oliver, a libertarian, is a businessman.
Chase Oliver will be on Georgia's ballot. He unsuccessfully ran as a libertarian for a Georgia U.S. Senate seat 2 years ago. This year, Oliver is the Libertarian nominee for president.
Now, I liken the 2-party system to pro wrestling. It's like having 2 people in a ring who are really pretending to fight each other and getting all their fundraising up, and then they go backstage and they laugh about how they earned so much money and they got so much attention.
In addition to Biden and Trump, Oliver is the only third-party candidate who's sure to appear on the Georgia ballot in November. But likely Green Party candidate Jill Stein has petitioned the state for ballot access, as have candidates Robert Kennedy Jr., Claudia De La Cruz, and Cornel West. Their odds of success are slim at best, says political scientist Carl Cavelli.
Third-party candidates are disadvantaged because they have to finish first, and they will rarely finish first. And as people become aware of that later and later in the electoral season, they're going to abandon the third party.
Despite his effort at the protest, the presidential candidate, named literally anybody else, told 11 Alive News his new name will not appear on the Georgia ballot because he could not gather enough required signatures.
Literally anybody else. That is an interesting one, Doug. So you talked about a lot of third-party candidates here that could make it to Georgia's ballot. We're talking more than in previous elections. Why so many this year?
Well, first of all, Georgia for years has required and still requires 7,000 or so signatures for a candidate to get on the ballot. But the Georgia legislature made it easier this year in a bill that sort of snuck through at the end of the session that will allow candidates who have been approved to get on ballots in 20 other states to automatically be eligible to appear on Georgia's ballot. So Jill Stein may be that candidate this November, perhaps others.